We're just being extra.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode. If you are new or if you are a returning listener, hey, welcome to the Just Extra podcast with Jackie and Erica. I'm Jackie.
And I'm Erica. Yay. Welcome back, or welcome for the first time. If it is your first time, you're here. It's safe space for you. If you're back, definitely make sure, if you haven't already, to engage with us. Like, comment, subscribe, do all the things. Give us a thumbs up. I don't know, wherever you're listening or watching, Spotify, YouTube. Feel free, while you're doing all those things, to hop on over to our social medias. We're on Instagram and TikTok, just extra_podcast, and give us some like and follow on all the content there. So thank you. We appreciate you. Episode 62. We're still going to start like we typically do with our extra thoughts segment of the podcast. This is the segment where we talk about the last episode that we recorded and any extra thoughts that we might have. And so our last episode was on type A and type B personalities. Jacqueline, any extra thoughts?
Well, my extra thoughts on the topic itself, I just really like figuring things out about myself. I always was that person that loved a personality test. I love a stars and moon zodiac. I loved learning about, it was just one where it's like I was an ENFJ. I forgot the actual name of that personality test, but it's like the 16 personality types. And learning my feminine archetype. I just love personality quizzes. Like, I really do. Just helps you understand yourself a little bit more and explore the things that may be of interest to you. I like figuring things out. I know me. I knew I was a type B person before I even knew like the exact definitions and examples, because that's me. Y'all, my type A friends, y'all lose y'all mind with me, but it's still a good time. I feel like we create a little balance there. It'll be fun. But that's it. That's all I got for that.
Yeah, I myself also was, in the youth of my life, which I still claim, but, the younger youth, doing all those J14 magazine quizzes of, filling out some stuff.
It's a throwback. Oh, my.
Oh, yes, we're old. So I enjoyed them as well, but I thought for this specific conversation that it was very interesting because in general, I would consider myself a type A. But as we were going through like all of the various like scenarios or like specific responses, I just could not answer type A for most of those individual scenarios. I'm like, am I really type A then if I'm leaning towards the type B responses in various situations, So that's definitely like what I thought about initially, like recording this episode. Because, yeah, we did the overview and I was like, yeah, type A for sure. And then we got into like in this situation or that situation. And it was just like, interesting. I actually align more so with type B. So, yeah.
Which ones do you feel like you're more type B?
So we were going through it and we talked about like work. I feel more like type B. Work is not my like life. I would like to have more balance in work and life. And so like that is more type B. In regards to conflict, I prefer to wait and talk things out like later. So that is more aligned with type B. In like the leisure time, maybe that is more type A. That might be the only one that leans a little bit more type A, but only because I'm like, sometimes I have a issue relaxing if I'm like, my kitchen is dirty or I need to do laundry, which that's why I typically don't keep them dirty because then I can actually enjoy my rest time. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it sounds about type A. Especially if you're planning around your rest time.
Yeah.
It's not like a spontaneous thing.
But I'm like, I'm just like half of them I was B. So I'm like, it wasn't fully like, oh yeah, 90%, 80% majority of the answers, I was like type A. It was like, no, there might have been one or two that were type A, but like 75% I was answering type B. So I'm just like,
you might be putting a little 20 on 10 with the 75, but
this is your new favorite phrasing. Because I've never heard anybody say it, but you've said it like 8 times in the last like week. And I'm like, interesting.
I don't know where I got it from,
It's
but it just
hanging out with
made
that
so
old
much sense.
man. What you mean?
No, that's not. Ooh, don't do that. He say some other stuff, and I'm like, ooh, baby, no, we're not no jive turkeys over here.
That's what
Okay,
it sounds like to me.
You see, she was defending him. You see that, Erica? You see that?
So whoa, hold on. Relax. No, putting 20 on 10. Actually, somebody at my job asked me about that. They're just like, what do you mean by that? Like you're putting a lot on something that doesn't require too much. You know? Like, okay, I feel like you're over exaggerating. Like, it's like, okay, we're extending it. We're extending
Don't get me
it.
wrong, Jackie. I definitely think that in general, I am a type A. But when we really were looking at it by scenario,
Yeah.
I was like,
No, true.
I am answering these like type B. But in general,
You were.
higher level concepts, time, organization, those things, very much so, type A. However, I am very hedonistic. I love a good time. That still exists. So it tends to lean type B in some scenarios. I just got to make sure that I plan and I do other things that fully allow me to embrace some of these things, because I won't forego that. I can't have a good time if I'm not handling my business. I feel very anxious about it. So
we're giving amnivert.
we should talk about
You
that.
know how
maybe.
people are like amniverts,
Mhm.
and then like we're just like AB amnivert,
Mhm.
whatever.
Mhm.
So I'm like, you never know.
Yes.
But all right, well, look, I had a good time with the episode. I just like, again, I love our evergreen topics. Like those are my favorite episodes, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah. The only other thing that I was just going to mention, which I don't have to go into too depth, but I know we started that episode talking about different things. And I just remembered like the first thing, like when we left that episode, I was like, oh yeah, I'm just like, let me comment. I know that we were talking about like, you know, ability to have kids and then desires to have kids. And I definitely don't want my own children. I do not. But I would like to clarify that not wanting your own children does not mean that you dislike children. I never said I don't like kids. I don't want my own, but kids love me. Every time I'm around a child, I am a child. And so they enjoy me and I enjoy them temporarily in spurts, not my own. You know, like I just don't want to have to sacrifice myself for you all. So yeah, I ain't got no issues with the children. Save the children. Don't shoot up the schools. Provide them with resources, free lunch,
Whoa, yeah.
all the things. I support the children, but I don't want to push one out of my cooch or have one snatched out of my uterus. I don't want to do that, and I don't want to have to care for one for years upon years and decades upon decades. So,
and it's definitely going to be decades upon decades, especially in this lifetime. Like, I hate when people say, "Oh, when you're 18, you're grown, you can
dependents
do
till
whatever."
26.
Like, honestly, like you're going to be a mom to the day you die. So if you don't want to do that, if you don't want to be, you know, if you can't see yourself being selfless in that way, don't do it. Like, I wish, I don't know.
No,
but unfortunately, a lot of people have kids and they actually don't think about that. They think about, oh, I just deal with this person for 18 years, or I just got to deal with my baby mama or my baby daddy for 18 years and I don't really have to deal with them anymore. Like, that is someone you literally connected yourself to for life, whether you like it or not. So
that's a great segue into our catch-up, because I know that Mother's Day is coming up. Once this drops, it's already passed. But this is why I literally can't stand Mother's Day. It's like my least favorite holiday of the year. Mostly because I have very contentious relationships. Well, you know, just one specific, with my stepmom. And so I specifically was looking at like cards and stuff. And this is why I was like, you know what? I would rather not buy a $7, $8 card. That is a lie. And I would rather spend $100 on a bouquet of flowers and I don't have to say anything. Because I don't want to lie about how I actually feel about you. I hate all these cards that are like, you're so great, you help me so much, and you love me so much, and you're so amazing, and without you, and because of you, and lie, 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 lie. It does not apply. It's the most uncomfortable time of year for me. And so I cannot stand it. So I'd rather, you know, sure, take a bouquet of flowers that says Happy Mother's Day, or a very blank card very generic wording to anyone almost type of card would be how I would navigate Mother's Day. But this is the first year that I'm actually buying something. I've gone 4 or 5 years now without actually exchanging words on birthdays or Mother's Day. But since I've been spending more time and interacting with her because of healthcare reasons, I feel like I should just like acknowledge at least that I appreciate that she is there and whatever she does for my father. So from that perspective, you know, sure. And then, you know, my mom is never, I never grew up with her. So it's always just kind of like, again, all the cards are like the things that you have done for me. And I'm like, girl, you were not here. And for various reasons and, you know, whatever, still care for you. It's all good, I guess. Like, but I cannot stand shopping for Mother's Day because it feels not sincere to me. And I very much so do it out of obligation. Or, yeah, I wasn't doing it for a few years because why?
Look, because I was going to ask you, hey, why don't you just send like a happy Mother's Day text and call it a day and not spend the $100? But you do have a good reason as to, hey, showing my appreciation this year. Here you go. Have a good day. You know? Yeah, I don't like to lie. Let's not waste the words. I mean, would I spend $100? I don't know. But that's your money, honey, and $100 to you may not feel like $100 to, you know, another person. So, hey, however monetary, you know, whatever monetary amount you feel fits the situation. So,
yeah,
girl, I'll be like, happy Mother's Day, girl. Or send a group chat with everybody. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers in my life and fam. I hope y'all have a great day. And just, there you go.
I have been silent in those group texts when things like that go off or like something. It's been a very like doing what's authentic to me type of experience. And yeah, so that's just how I feel. Yes, I feel like, you know, I'm so ungrateful and yada, yada, yada. But I'm starting to feel like I don't really care because y'all don't know my lived experience.
Exactly. I'm like, girl, that's your life. No one can tell you how to feel. So.
Yeah.
Well, happy Mother's Day to everybody else, though. Like, you know, we're going to be past this point. But, you know, happy Mother's Day to everybody. Happy Mother's Day to my mom. I love you very much. You know, hope you're doing okay. I'll call her this week, though. It'll be all right. I don't know what she wants, though. That's the thing. I'm like, girl, what do you want? She don't want anything. It's so hard because her birthday was just last week. So we're going to be combining these things. And I'm like, girl, what do you want?
Oh, that's so funny. What do you want? Yeah. My stepmom's birthday is in April. And then my mom's birthday is in May too. So this is like we were just doing these things. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So the only other thing that I want to share in a catch up is that you have met Capricorn. And so has Hassan.
I did.
So, you know, we have brought the bow around for at least an initial experience. It wasn't too like confined to a dinner table. Let's like have a real chat. So it was very like, he's here, he's around, you know, y'all can talk, you know, chat, whatever. And then we went to a housewarming. So before, you know, we go too deep into that, thoughts, comments.
Well, I like, first off, okay, this is, you know, the best way to introduce somebody is in a casual manner. You know, yeah, you could do lunch, you could do things like that. But, you know, when it's just friends, you want to see people in their element. I like that we all like, okay, let's keep it light. Let's have a little pregame so we can say hey, and then we can just go to the party and have a good time. My impression of him is that, okay, he seems like a normal human being, like no serial killer vibes. I'm like, okay, because I'm like, who is she around? Because I'm like, what if this man is like literally controlling her brain and she's being manipulated and I don't know it and I can't save her? So that's my concern.
Wait a minute. How you get all that? How you get all that?
Obviously, my personal dating history, not to project it on anybody else's, but that's what I would like from my friends. Like, I would like to eventually introduce you to people I surround myself by, but if I am obviously hiding them, it's for a reason, okay? So I'm like, bring him around. Let's see how he is. But honestly, he just gives normal human being. He talks, he interacts. We appreciate that. And I can tell he really likes you. So it's so funny because we did talk about like, hey, I don't know. I feel like we talked about this in a previous episode. I can't remember, but maybe not. Erica was like, so do you have any questions you're going to ask him? I'm like, look at you preparing. No,
Type in.
I won't tell you. I like an authentic response. Mm-hmm. And I was just like,
I guess I was more interested in like, what are the things that are important for you to know about a friend's partner? You know? So like, what are you assessing for? Just general essence that he's not abusing me? Or like, what is it that you're like, I need to know this question in order to feel confident in the success of this relationship?
Well, just general. First off, I didn't have any questions. That's why I was just like, that's the whole point of me saying that was like, I don't have any questions. I actually just wanted to see who's around my friend. You know, that was it. You thought I was going to have questions. And I was just like pulling your leg because I was just like, look at you. Huh?
I would. I want to know, who are you? What are your intentions?
The general questions,
too.
I was like,
I was going to a party. So it ain't like you
I don't care where we're going.
Time for interaction. So.
I don't care where we're going. This is my time to try and understand, like, who are you in regards to, like, my friend. And not to be, like, interrogation, like, you know, whatever. But just, like, there would be things that I feel like I would want to know about you. To know that, like, this is going to be best for someone that I care about. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So that's why I was asking. Like, what are you?
No, and I'm with you. I actually think that if someone has like set like list of questions for people, if you do have them, you should say them. And honestly, I would welcome it. I would be nervous too if I'm meeting a whole bunch of people. So I'll be like, ooh, what are you going to ask me? But you know me, I am more of an observer when it comes down to people. So I was more observing like, when he walks up to the home, is he greeting himself? Is he introducing himself? Is he walking past people? Is he, you know, interacting with people? How is he treating you? How is he when you guys speak? Do I feel like this is a pulling situation, like we're trying to pull something? Or, you know, do I feel like is it she likes him more than, you know, vice versa? Or do I feel like, is he talking to her a certain way? So my answers, well, no, not my answers. My questions will be answered by interacting. Mm-hmm. So that's why I was just like, okay, yeah.
Okay.
So I was like, no, I didn't have any questions. And I was pulling her leg and I was like, and I don't have any questions. I just wanted to meet the person that's around my friend and who's making her happy because he's really making you happy. You're spending a lot of time there as a person that low-key looks at your location to see if you're wanting to do something. When I see you're in a certain area, we're not going to give out his location, but I was like, she busy for today. We'll leave that alone. So.
Yeah. I think him and I even laugh. We're like, okay, so besides your trips to Chicago, how long have we spent apart? None. 0. A few hours. You know, we have even made comments about like, okay, so like we're going to sleep apart today. Like that's just what we're doing. And so like we'll go home and 4 hours will pass and then it'll be like, so you want to come back? Or you want me to come over? Or like, what are you doing? Are you hungry? You want to eat something? Or, so it's just like, okay, sure.
That's so cute.
Why not?
Is it a we thing or do you be doing that? I feel like you be texting that.
No. I think it's very mutual. I don't think that I think he has said it maybe like once. Like, it's not even that we're asking for a lot of time apart. Like he might've said it like one time. And I'm like, yeah, sure. I respect it. It's all good. Like, it's fine. And, you know, disappear. And then he'll be like, how's your day going? You know, or what are your plans later? Maybe we should, I know I said this. You want to get back together? And I have done it, again, just like one time. We are not asking to spend a lot of time apart, to be honest. So, Yeah.
Oh, y'all so adorable.
I know, that's so cute.
Aw.
I'm just like, who? I'm like, that's all. I'm just like, who is this person that has like one? Because I haven't seen it before,
Same.
like this dynamic. So
I know.
so that's why it's like now I'm curious to know. Like, but honestly, okay. So I mean, I don't know him per se, but I was like, okay, we mentioned this, we talked about it. Like, he seems kind of familiar, and I think that's a Chicago,
No,
Illinois
like
thing.
for real. Like when I first saw him, I was just like, I know him, but I feel like,
Look familiar.
yeah, like he just has that familiar face. Like,
So we look forward to you guys, to us all hanging out some more. Like, he was cool. He was good company. So yeah, look forward to
he
that.
wants y'all to
Yeah,
come
he was
over
real
so
cool.
bad. He's like, I want you to feel comfortable here, and I want you to like invite your friend. Why would I invite my friends to your house first and foremost? Like,
Because y'all gonna live together and be together forever, and then y'all gotta like learn how to introduce these, and then you know, and then the things, because you guys are starting to melt.
you might as well move your shit over there right now.
Yeah, what's up with that?
okay, should I skip to the other? I moved that other CatchUp because yeah, I am living.
I saw that, and I was just like,
I just was trying to be concise. I was trying to make it seem like it's only
you can pop it in real fast, and then I'll talk about my little shtick.
Just really quickly is like, yeah, I'm definitely bopping around to two places. Like literally, even within the same day, I have brought my stuff back here and had to literally bring my stuff right on back, and it's quite annoying. And he's really kind and has like bought a lot of like the toiletry items, you know, for me, and it's nice, but it's also just like annoying because I don't always have everything, or I forget something, or you know, it's just living in like two spaces is a very first world problem, but also just like I would rather have everything here and everything there versus really having to like, all right, you got to pack for like 3 days just to make sure you have clothes, but what kind of clothes? What are we doing? Where are we going? I don't know. And I don't like it. So we'll come here and we'll get a different outfit, or we'll touch up and we'll leave out, or it's just not my favorite thing to be doing. But I mean, like, what else are you going to do? We have looked at apartments just for fun.
I was just about to ask that. I was like, so have for fun, shits and giggles, have we looked at places, new places, or like places together?
Yeah. It's
all right, what we doing?
A favorite little pastime.
Ooh.
No, it's fun. I've always liked looking at houses, you know, like I just enjoy doing that stuff, or like apartments and whatever else. Like I enjoy that. No, I mean, I think and it's funny because we're like aligned on the things that we would like. And it's just, we tell each other that it's because we're the same person. It's because you're the same person. It's because you want to be me so bad. Like that is like how we converse with each other, because we are the same person. So yeah, we have thought about like, you know, the places that we have seen the same, and like, oh, well, I wish this was like this, or this was different, or I like this about this. Like we're pretty aligned on most things. So yeah, it's been good. In regards to like a timeline perspective, we have not been adhering to anything on our timeline schedule. We have definitely escalated a lot of things. But like in general, I'm just like, well, when's your lease up? And I think his is up is in like February. I think mine's up in like March or something. And like, oh, we could like make something work. Is that too soon? Because we'd be approaching at like a literal year. But it's like, I don't know. Is it? We don't know. So it's just kind of like, let's just chill. All right, first and foremost, because neither one of us actually want to be here. So we're, you know.
In Houston?
Yeah. So, you know, like we're just very open. We're aligned in regards to like what we are kind of open to. Don't nobody want to be in the boonies, you know? But yeah, so we're having a lot of conversations in regards to like living together, what that would look like, what a timeline would potentially look like. I take these conversations with a grain of salt because it seems psychotic to me, because I'm like, I just met you, but I'm also just like, I like you. So, you know, it's fun. We'll talk about it. Let's chat about it. And we're aligned. So I don't see like the harm for sure in it, but I'm just like, it's crazy that I'm having these conversations with you, which to me, I also would like to point out that me and Brokey weren't having these conversations. So I would like to, again, put out there that it was not the same experience. And I did not view it the same way.
One day I'm going to go back and I'm going to pick out some stuff from old episodes.
Go ahead. So, and if I was ever saying anything that like, that's my man, or we're going to be together or whatever, if it was...
You didn't say
no, we weren't saying that. We weren't saying that.
All I was ever talking about was our sexual activity, or that I wanted basic respect.
Whew. To beg for the bare minimum is so sad. But
definitely didn't beg, but would say, like, don't do that ish. Or vent to you about what he would do. But never begged for it. Mm-mm.
No, just in general, like, wanting the bare minimum and then having to, like, why do we have to talk about this? This shouldn't be a conversation. This should just be automatic, you know? But again, when you're with somebody who doesn't align with you, you're just not going to get the same results, and that you're just going to have some power struggles there. Mm-hmm. Hence why we left that in 2024, honey.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
And unread.
Amen.
Well, I guess read, but non-replied.
Definitely saw it, but no read receipts are on. Anyway.
I'm so excited for you.
That's
like, okay, let me just say, let me get this out. Look, let me get this off. I don't know. I just get so excited. Like, I don't know. When you think about how quickly a year changes, how quickly things, are you finished? Because I just want to do that and then shift over, say this and then shift over.
Go ahead.
It's crazy how quickly a year can go by. You know, like you can have children, you can be in relationships, you can be, you can be fired, rehired, you can get a house, you can do all these things. But when you get older, you're just like, damn, it's kind of going by really fast. Like we're literally going to be at 6 months in like less than 30 days.
Today's my half birthday.
In 2025.
Thanks.
Today?
Yeah.
Oh, it is. Well,
we got exactly 6 months till my next birthday.
Okay, well, happy birthday.
Thanks.
Well, happy half birthday.
Continue.
So, for my catch-up, well, I just want to say, to start off, like, this episode is going to come out next week, but this week is National Nurses Week. So, it's going to be from May 6th to May 12th. So again, shout out to all the nurses that are out here doing their thing, who have been in this profession for a very long time. I'm approaching a year. This month is actually my year anniversary of passing the NCLEX and getting my license. So that's for me.
Yes.
It's been a very, very tough year. It's crazy when they say in nursing school, they don't teach you how to be a nurse. They just teach you the basic things that you'll need to do your job. But how to do it, you're going to have to learn by experience. I'm going to just drop some really quick facts about Nurses Week and nurses in general. And then I'm going to talk about, my updates as far as this nursing thing goes. It's still one of the world's most trusted professions, even compared to doctors, which is really crazy when you think about it. There's over 29 million nurses worldwide. There's about 6 to 7% in the United States that are Black women. As far as males goes, it's about 13%, and it's, consistently rising. We actually hired a few male nurses on our unit, and it's crazy. And I'm so happy to see that because, you would see like the Filipino male nurses, or, your regular white male nurse. But now I'm starting to see our Black males getting into this profession. And it's really nice to see them in a caregiver role. Mm-hmm. It's just really nice to see. And this is one of my last facts. Did you know that a nurse can walk 4 to 5 miles in a 12-hour shift?
Makes sense.
Just saying.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to get your steps in. Hence why I'm so happy I got this Apple Watch. Because look, I need my credit, okay? I know I'm not tripping. I know I'm hot and sweaty. But going back into it, I'm working a lot, y'all, and I've been talking about this. Nerna, gosh, I'm at this point now where I'm applying, and I've talked about this before on the podcast, but now I'm taking interviews, and it's been interesting. I have declined jobs. I have, had situations where this week one of the recruiters referred my resume to a hiring manager for a company that I really wanted to work for. It's a national, well-known company. They've been in the news for some unfortunate reasons, but we'll just leave that there. But the hiring manager reached out to me and said, "Hey, I wanted to meet you. I wanted to have schedule this interview with you this week. So if you want to talk about the job or the position, you can call me. We can talk anytime." So I took her up on that offer. I called her the day before my interview. We had a really nice chat. And then we had the interview the next day. We talked for over an hour, and I felt like it was just a really good energy and everything like that. But at the end of that, she said, "I want to hire you, but you just do not have enough clinical experience. And I just need you to get a little bit more clinical experience, even if it's just of like 6 months in like home health. You're a baby nurse, and I really need someone who knows the diseases and the processes." And I was just like, damn. I ain't gonna lie, I felt very played because we really had like this back and forth. But she said, "I wanted to meet you because your resume was so impressive. You actually have the background skills to do this job. You just need the clinical experience." And that's what a lot of nurses are looking for. We're looking for nurses with that type of experience plus the clinical. So I ain't gonna lie, I was pissed off because where's my money? Stop wasting my time. Where the job? I'm over here laughing and kikiing with you, and we just having a good time. Where's my money? Where's my job? But she said, stay in touch with her. She says, "Honestly, I'm going to send you some things that I feel like would more align with you. We hire so many nurses, and there's going to be something here for you. Have you thought about analytics, informatics? Because you have the background. Why don't you get into it?" And I'm just like, okay, I'll think about it. I actually got a job offer for another place, and it's in a field of nursing that I'm not quite I don't think I want to go into it. I'll talk about it. It's hospice. If you don't know what hospice care is when you're at the end of life and you only have about 6 months or left to live, and you're just in palliative care. So pretty much we're making you comfortable management, because you're about to die. Yeah. So I actually did the interview. It was kind of weird. They called me. I put the application in that day, and then got a call literally 3 hours later. "Can you come in for an interview the next day?" And I said, okay, something's wrong here. We'll see. So I go do the interview. We have a good time. So I'm like, okay, I just want to practice. I'm not really interested in this, but let me take a practice interview. It was a great time. I did feel like management may be a little bit of an issue. I'm not going to get too much into it, but I would like to talk about this on a different day as it relates to the type of managers and supervisors we deal with. Let's get into and how that affects, your job, and your quality of life, honestly.
People leave managers, not companies. Typically people leave managers, not companies. Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't want to leave my situation and go into something that I feel like is going to be harmful to my mental health more than this job already is. Like, I don't have time for it. Okay. So I got the offer letter, and it was, it's more than what I'm making now. It's not as much as I anticipated making, because I asked for it. I ain't gonna lie, I jumped high. And she says, "You know what, we can make that work." But then she came back and said, "You know what? Because you only have like a year or less of experience, I feel comfortable offering you this much." And I'm just like, okay. All right. So I signed the offer letter.
Oh, so congrats.
Yes. And for the start date of June. Now, I'm going to tell you this. Will I actually do it? We'll think on it a little bit more. So
Why?
I'm locking it in now because I'm just like, okay, I still need some more time to think if I actually want to leave, because where I work at right now is so prestigious and so many people want to work there. I'm not a fan of my unit, but it's just like there's so many opportunities that I am getting just by being there. And honestly, I do need that clinical experience, more clinical experience. And I don't know. A part of me feels like if I do this, I'll pigeonhole myself into a specialty that I wasn't really passionate about in the first place. And, I ain't gonna lie, I have some shifts that are shitty as fuck, but I do feel like I'm in a place where I'm learning so much and I just don't want to find myself trapped and stuck somewhere. I don't want to put a glass ceiling on myself. So I'm still thinking on it. I signed the offer because, you know, more money. Who doesn't want more money? These are skills I'm still learning. Who knows? I could just take the opportunity to just, learn and move on. But I mean, I don't know. I'm still kind of like this about.
Some people really like being specialized in something. For me to compare it, like obviously HR, you can do HR broadly and touch all of it, or you can focus on one specific area. Obviously, same for medicine. But like some people really like their specialty area. So if you do some more research, and it could be something that like you actually enjoy. Honestly, I think about like end of life being like, obviously it's something I'm very scared of. I'm like, what is this? What is that like?
It's scary.
But I know that like there are certain people that I follow, and I can't remember, like Going with Grace or something like that like actually talk about like their experience in hospice care and doing a lot of end of life, and like just the conversations that you have with these people and how impactful that they tend to be, and like just how like eye-opening, like, what is life? Like people are getting a lot from working with people who are reflecting on their last like days. So it could be really valuable, but also very sad, obviously, in the same vein. I could be also happy. You never know. What are they sharing? I don't know why. It's just second nature for me to think about dying and thinking about it in a sad way. It could be very, I don't know. So, yeah, I think I also echo the sentiments of not running away from from your current problems. Like, don't just run away, but make an intentional decision about where you are actually going, because you could go somewhere worse because you were too busy running away from something, right? So
yes,
just take your time, think about it. I think it's still, I do agree that you are at a very prestigious organization. There is a lot that you could benefit from staying there on a longer term. I think even potentially that there could lead to opportunities for internal transfers to other departments. I don't know. I hope. Corporate America, I know that's difficult, but...
Well, can I segue a little bit? So the reason why I'm I took a quick sabbatical from work because I was having some quote unquote bouts with insomnia, because I'm not going to lie. I had gotten written up for a typo, something that wasn't intentional. I literally okay, I'm administering this time, but another time was entered. And yes, that had the potential to cause patient harm, but it did not. And it was something that, okay, I'm learning from. But the fact that I got a final warning was was crazy. I felt like it was crazy because I haven't gotten any formal warnings or anything. But at the end of the day, I understand, because again, this is why this is one of the most trusted professions. There's no room for error. And also because I know I'm type B, I don't need to be doing shit like this if this is going to happen,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to do that.
That's why I'm
so that's me.
Try to have sympathy with the things that you are saying and expressing. But I think about it if I'm on the other end, okay, and I'm receiving the care.
And
I don't want no errors.
That's why I received it.
None.
Yeah, that's exactly why I received the feedback.
Yeah.
And I accepted the warning.
Yeah.
But it's really telling to say, why do you have a final warning? And then when you actually look at the quote unquote offense, and you're just like, wow. Because my thing is, anything could happen. There were no barriers to update or change it. I would think if we worked on an informatics level, they could stay a prompt that says, are you sure? Because this is this time. Are you sure you're entering it at this time? Because it allows you to do that. But again, if you're not paying attention, something could happen. So with that, I'm just like, I accept it. I really do. But knowing who I am and knowing like the type of person that, I could be sometimes, like, I don't want to hurt anybody or cause harm to anybody. That's how much I actually really care about what I do and the people that I serve and the profession that I'm in. So hence why I feel like that's why I signed that letter, because I'm like, I can be in a situation where, well, we in a business of dying anyway, so shit. But not to say like I'm gonna kill somebody for an accident, but more so the role I will take on is a little bit more administrative, a little bit more education heavy, and more behavioral health and like forward. Something that's not actually task orientated and, room for mistakes. If anything, I'll just make sure things are aligned and we just, we reach our goal. But how we do that can be up to me.
I'm also just from a bedside perspective, they say death is harder on the living. And so this, I just, from a perspective of like caring for other people who are going to go through things and have like emotions, like, I'm just like, that's going to be a huge part of the job. And so like, I immediately went to like, I know sometimes even we had a conversation of like, how do you ensure that you are kind of like validating somebody's like experience or the emotions, even if you might disagree with them. And I'm just like, I know we disagreed on how I would have appreciated being communicated to in that moment. My brain immediately went to like, for this job, there better be like well-being certifications, like courses, like classes that really do help with like that piece of the experience, because last thing I would want is me going through it emotionally and someone looking at me like, I don't know what you're doing exactly like that. But you should think about it this. I'm like, girl, if you don't let me sit here and feel what I am feeling, you know what I'm saying? I'm processing. I do not need that dismissed. Not now. But you've got some resources. We got to figure out exactly how that can be translated, because we will interact with all different kinds of people who like to be cared for and communicated in various different ways. But like, yeah, to me, that would be a big part of what needs to fully be like understood. Whew.
I receive that. I think in my own personal journey these days, I am learning about how I can be emotionally detached in some certain, aspects, because, sometimes I cannot care and sometimes I can care a lot, But in this particular field, I think and I feel like this is probably the thing that kind of sold them on me. It's just like, I've explained the fact that I've been through death so many times as a young person. Like I've lost parents, I've lost cousins, I've lost both my grandparents in the same year, in the same month. So death is something that isn't easy, and everyone's going to process it different. Like I've seen family members get into drugs. I've seen people get into sex. I've seen people just become more withdrawn. I've seen people argue about the estates. That's something that I feel like with my experience, I can relate and also validate someone's experience, because at the end of the day, we're going to process this thing differently. And you have the right to do any and everything you want to. But at the end of the day, we got to get these papers signed. So sign this. Like, that sounds bad, but just like, I mean, the job requires a lot. You are working with people who are around this person versus the actual person. So yeah, no, I receive it. That's why I say it's a heavy job and I'm thinking on it. I'm happy they gave me the opportunity. It's paying a lot more than what I'm making now, but we'll see. Updates to come.
Well, congrats. Congrats. It's never good to hear like no's continuously. So even if you decline that job, that's good, because not a lot of people are in positions to decline job offers. So.
The fact that I'd be declining these days, I have people, I think places I want to work at that are declining me, and then I'm getting situations where I'm like, they're like, here, work with us. And I'm just like, no, I don't want that. Like the fact, I don't know, times are tough these days too. So I mean, amen. But also, like, God damn, like, I really got to be careful because I really like staying somewhere for a very long time. I don't like jumping around. It's very uncomfortable. But yeah, hopefully, I'll give you some updates. Speaking of updates, let's get into our extra. So this episode is going to be more extra heavy. We actually had another extra episode that did not come out, but we're here. That's fine.
I'm gonna tell y'all why it didn't come up, right?
Don't. Actually, you know what? Moving on. Well, fuck it. If you want to do it, okay, fine.
The reason it didn't come up is because we had a heavy discussion about your favorite person, Brittany Renner.
Oh.
And it was too heavy because, just say it, Jackie, you do not like this girl. Just say it. You don't like her.
So I see where you're going here. Yeah, I'm actually at this point now where I'm just kind of like, I don't really relate to you anymore. But you're very interesting to watch, so I'm going to keep watching. Like I said it, like, you want to talk about it? Fuck it. I didn't know we was going to start here, but let's go. Extra. So as you know, your favorite girl on the internet, the shapeshifter herself, is now married to Kevin Gates. So the reason why I called her a shapeshifter is in the other episode, I said, hey,
she gonna beat your ass.
That's fine.
I'm not. Who's gonna be?
Brittany Renner? Okay.
Erica, let's just say, would you jump in to help Jackie?
If she's getting beat?
First off, this is a one-on-one. Who says she's beating me?
I mean, I'm just saying, just in case.
Would I jump in if Jackie is getting beat or in a fight in general? So maybe. What are we fighting for? Can I defend it? Am I just trying to break it up? I can see myself just trying to break it up.
What if you get hit?
Oh no, see, that's why I'm also just like, this is really unfortunate.
Like, hold on,
I'm like,
my face.
somebody needs to do something. I don't know.
Somebody help.
Yeah.
Just whatever you do, just don't pull out a phone. Okay?
To record? I would never record. That would be crazy.
Don't be one of those people.
Why would I be doing that? I would be trying to figure out how to stop. Like, I might be yelling at the top of my lungs, like, stop. Like, this is not okay. And, like, hopefully I'm not by myself. Who is going to break this up? I don't know.
I'm just going to be surprised in a situation where I literally get in a room with Brittany Renner and, like, we're fighting. That's hilarious. Because it's like, there's nothing to fight about.
Right.
Especially if I'm stating the facts of what I see.
And she's Muslim, too. You better stop playing with her.
Say what? She would be in love with whomever she want to be. Because whomever she's in love with.
She's a Muslim. You better stop playing with her. She'll get them people on you.
Them people?
Yeah.
Oh, shut up. We're not going to do that, okay? I'm not going to talk. We're not going to make fun of that faith, okay? Because I respect all religions,
Lord
okay?
help me, please.
Except for the ones where you're eating babies. We don't do that.
What religion is that?
Wait.
Girl, the people.
Then that's the case. Then that's the case. Then all women. Well, let me not say that. Okay, Brittany Renner.
Shut your ass.
Brittany Renner. Let's go.
Technically, any babies that I eat are not alive. They're not viable.
Correct.
All right, Brittany Renner now. She's
okay.
Married.
You eat nut. Congratulations. Like, she's so...
It's not viable. They're like not alive. Little swimmers. They're dead already.
They're not dead. They just don't. There's not the thing.
They're not
that'll be a dope name for a candy, Little Swimmers. Like sperm candy, Little Swimmers.
Like the little fishies?
Anyway.
Yeah.
Swedish fish.
What flavor? Is it vanilla? Can we stay on topic? Okay. So, all right. So your favorite girl is married to Kevin Gates. She announced that on, I think was the premiere of Basketball Wives. She's on Basketball Wives. Now, the reason why she's on Basketball Wives is her previous relationship with Mr. PJ Washington, a younger fellow that she was friends with. And, she tried to be the whole mom, soon to be wife role there. And the thing Now, I don't, because you can't hate somebody you really don't know. It's just that when I see and when I was following her career, I've noticed she shifts her whole personality and how she moves depending on who she dates. And, I was like, okay, girl, because, one moment you are a fitness girl, you're a soccer girl, then you're a fitness girl, then you're a basketball wife, and then you are Miss, I got my one leg out, one butt cheek out, one legging out, Fashion Nova goddess. Then the next thing you know, oh, hip hop girl. And then the next thing you know, you are a Muslim. And I mean, granted, people are allowed to change because this is what this life is all about. But I do think that it's interesting that it's always correlating with someone that you're dating. Like, it's like, who are you? Who is Brittany Renner exactly? But she's entertaining to watch. So she's married now to Kevin Gates. People are confused because when did he get divorced from Drika? Drika is a childhood wife. Well, he met his wife when they were children. They got married. They have children. She's well known. They've had ins and outs with their relationships, but nobody has officially announced that they were divorced. So people are like, what's happening here?
Why do
Is
they
this a
have to
situation?
announce it though?
It's not to say that they have to announce it, but at the end of the day, like, we don't know that you guys were not together anymore.
Aren't they public
Like-
records though? Like, if you really wanted to know, couldn't you look it up?
Yeah. But also,
My
why
thing
is
is,
it?
I'm not looking it up, but why is everybody saying who they are not there? Who's divorced? We don't know who's divorced. Are they divorced? Are they really? Is this? Oh, are we married when she's flashing this ring? Is this really her husband, or is she speaking on into the future?
That's also
What's
public
happening here?
records.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
But anyway, so when someone asked her, hey, why do you love Kevin Gates? You know what she said? His name echoes in every chamber of my heart. And people were kind of eating her up about that because they're just like,
They just
that's
hate.
it.
Stop hating on her. She in love.
That's
she love
honestly
that man.
poetry.
Dirty draws. Yeah.
It's honestly poetry. If it wasn't coming from her, I think we would, like, if Maya said this ish, we would have ate it up all the way. A Toni Morrison, we would have ate it up all the way. Like, it's just because,
Scott.
you know what I'm saying? It's just because it's coming from her. And I mean, I don't know. Again, I'm not that invested. I'm not that invested, so I'm not like, I don't know. So I don't have comments. I don't know.
So
girl.
I
hope she's
do
happy.
love when people are in love. I do love when people are in love, but just to open it up into a quick, bigger conversation, like, what do you think about people who actually change who they are based on who they're with?
I think if they are changing small things, like some of the things that you said, like, okay, she was playing soccer and then she wasn't, and then she went to a fitness girly and then she wasn't, and then like some of those things are natural things that happen. I was a soccer girly too, and then I wasn't, and I was a fitness girly too, and then I wasn't. You know what I'm saying? Like, those are all things that have ebbed and flowed out of my life. I've not been a mom, but like, that's fine. I probably because of what her career is, it has introduced her to a same level of person that she has access to. So I could see that, yeah, it makes sense that like you're in this space where like you can talk to the athletes. And so now you're dating athletes or you're dating a musician. I don't feel like that's a tie. I don't know. Maybe religion, is a larger one that is more valid. But I don't think necessarily changing your religion is a bad thing. And I definitely think that people do it all the time. Like, people convert to Judaism and we don't got nothing to say. People change their religion literally all the time. And I think that if it's specifically like a man being the influence, yeah, I definitely think that you should have the ability to make the decisions that like are true to yourself. You're at the end of the day, if this person leaves your life, they introduce something to you that you would like to keep or like you value it. Like, I hope that would be the case. But I definitely think that like it is natural to be influenced by the people that you are around or the people that you look up to or care for. Like, I think that is natural. And we've talked about this, like, when they announced that they were together. But yeah, I guess I'm just like, I haven't followed her close enough to be like, oh, yeah, when she dates other people, I know for a fact that she just becomes a completely different person. I don't know. I feel like she's very much so been the exact same person that I followed from the beginning. But there are parts of her that have changed, like any actually productive human being who should probably always be changing something about themselves. Otherwise, you might as well die if you're going to stay the same. So I guess I'm just... The only part that I can kind of give credit for is like, if it is linked to the men and I can't say it for certain and I can't deny it. But if it is specific to men, like, yeah, you should never do anything for a man or generally anybody else. Unless, again, I don't know, it's aligned to you. You're going to probably keep it. If they exit your life, like they've influenced you in some way. I don't know.
So the
I met
people she's
you
been
and I fill in
linked
my
to,
eyebrows. Does that make me a whole different person? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just like, I don't know.
I'm like, you approached me about the eyebrows.
I did.
You didn't just like.
I didn't just see you and be like, oh, I'm going to do this. Yeah, I mean, no.
Yeah.
So the people she's been linked to is PJ Washington, Kevin Gates, Lil Uzi Vert, Drake, Colin Kaepernick. I mean, just going by off of that, I don't see like what do you mean like she's changed? Like just judging off the
Did you
men
say
she
Little
dates.
Uzi in there?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because you kind of went out a little bit. Well, I'm saying her lifestyle changes based on who she dates, because when she was doing soccer, she was with this like, every, hooty-dooty white guy. And then when she did her fitness thing, this was something that she like pivoted in that I thought was really interesting. And I was like, she could really gone somewhere with that, honestly. But you can't want something from somebody that they don't want for themselves, especially if they don't feel like they're truly aligned to the mission of that. And then when she started to do the hip hop thing, she became our generation's Corinne Steffens. And Corinne Steffens, if you know who she is, she's a very intelligent woman, but she pretty much commodified her experience in the hip hop world as a vixen. And she did the same thing as an Instagram model. And so her lifestyle kind of converted around that. And then when she broke up with those people, she was like, okay, I'm a man hater. I'm this and that. She went back, retreated, came back out with PJ Washington. People were like, dang, girl, why are you with this young man? And she just like, you don't know me. You don't know my life. Y'all are hating and stuff. It's always that. But it's like people are like, girl, like this man just got into the league. Like, you, sir. And she just like, I know we're going to be fine. And then you're not fine. But you're still commodifying off of that relationship with basketball wives. And then once you, left that alone, you became like a man hater and kind of rolling into the gender wars. And so you became that. And then you retreated again and then came back out as a Muslim.
Yeah.
And a submissive wife to Kevin Gates, out of all people.
I think that...
Now, don't get me wrong. Kevin Gates is cool. But like, and I fuck too. But like, it's Kevin Gates. He not that stable. But I mean, maybe this is the reason. This man has talked about, he's also been a shapeshifter himself. But I mean, trigger warning, he has attempted to commit SI several times based on, how he feels about himself and the world around him. So as somebody who works in this mental health field and actually take care of hospitalized people who have these SI ideations, you want to make sure they're okay, but there's something there that makes you not want to be here. And it's really dependent upon how you feel about yourself. So right now he seems pretty stable and, but still like, but hey, maybe this is a match made in heaven for a reason. Well, yes, we'll just say that for now. It's just a watch and see. I just feel like it's very interesting. That's it.
All right,
welcome back.
Great. So let's talk about some other updates to people's lives.
Right.
I'm like Rihanna, an update. She's having another child. Was this her third with ASAP Rocky? She was spotted ahead of the Met Gala with a bump. And so that's when it first was like leaked or discovered. She didn't really seem like she was hiding it too much to me because she was like, it's about to come out in a couple hours anyway. And then, obviously she had her big reveal on the Met Gala stairs, carpet, whatever you're going to call it. So congratulations are in order for Rihanna and A$AP Rocky. Any takes that you have on that?
Get off of her. You ain't never getting that album.
Okay.
So just continue to buy the Fenty. That's all I got. Like, I'm happy for them. I really love
I thought you was
fact,
talking about for him to get off her. That's what I thought you meant.
Yeah, that is
get
what
off
she
of
meant.
that girl.
Oh, I thought you talking about,
She
okay,
needs
are you
to-
talking about the fans to get off Rihanna for the album?
No,
or-
like, A$AP, get your
okay.
ass off of her. You just barely beat that case and you getting that girl pregnant.
I would
She
too.
gotta put out an album.
No, she don't.
But yeah, I mean, hey, what else is you gonna do? So I think it's cute. I think I like their family. It's really adorable. I love the fact that Rihanna has lived a full life, and she's not even 40 yet, and she is just literally like, I am doing. I was super. Again, we're not gonna get another album, but I kind of left that shit, in the back. You don't have to come out with anything else, honestly. I'm not looking for it.
Well, you know who's still making music? It's Beyonce. Okay. And Beyonce is currently on tour. She just What? What more do you have to say?
About the Met Gala?
Oh, sure. Go ahead. Rihanna's Met Gala. Who else are we talking about? Met Gala. Who has good looks?
Did you see anybody?
Yeah.
Did you see anything? I know she was like, "Fuck that."
Just say it. Say it one good time.
I'm just
Fuck that shit.
No, I'm just trying to also
Look, we can
move us
keep
along.
it moving.
No, I mean, who do you want to talk about from the Met Gala? Who
I just want to say shout out to the theme, Black Dandyanism. It's just, it was just a beautiful theme. The Met Gala happens every year. It's like a charity event. I really loved the fact that everyone stepped out in style. I was getting a little tired of the hats, but I understand that goes with the style. I mean, shout out to the people who really won. In my opinion, Janelle Monáe did her thing. Also, what's her name? Is it Jolie Turner? What's her name?
I forget. It's not Jodie Turner. Who's? Somebody Turner.
Jodie Turner?
I think.
Jodie Turner Smith?
Mm-hmm.
Whoever her name is, she played in Queen and Slim. She looked fire. She always looked fire. And Diana Ross. Those are my top three. Sabrina Carpenter.
That's so interesting. Completely different list. I would say that Zendaya and Tiana Taylor, I think, got the theme perfect in my opinion. And then I would say,
she was pretty good.
Just honestly, Zendaya's presence on the carpet, like just what she can't. I don't think she does anything wrong. I'm laughing though because someone else, somebody had her sing.
I saw that. I was like, and that's why I didn't put her in my top, only because the fact that somebody else is looking like you. That's this
she
is
still
the Met Gala.
wore it
She should
better.
do something. Oh, she ate down.
Mm-hmm.
I love the Taylor suit. Okay. But I mean, that is unfortunate.
I think you're right. Janelle Monáe did get like the theme. I wasn't like super in love, but I think it was aligned with the theme. I like Savannah James's outfit as well. I thought Sabrina was cute also. And then from a male perspective, Lewis Hamilton will get a mention as well. But in general, I like the theme. I like that it was very Black forward. However, should have been just a black space. I just felt like everybody else was appropriating.
We weren't really invited there normally in the beginning, so I mean,
I think it's a cultural appropriation. Are we begging to be in these particular? And I don't think that, I don't know. I'm just like, sometimes I don't like that everything is open for people who don't appreciate us. And I'm just like, stop letting people into cultures, stop letting people into areas that don't have respect for it. So I'm just like, it should have been Black only space or, very much so vetted in regards to who could have attended. But I appreciate that they were, acknowledging Blackness in fashion. Shout out to that.
Okay. Well, speaking of fashion shows, as you said, the Cowboy Carter tour Miss Beyonce herself is underway. They had opening night in LA. So, what are your thoughts on that?
I have never gone to a Beyonce concert ever in my life. I get the hype, every time I see clips, it seems like she's a great performer. I think that the commentary is still centered on Blue Ivy. It's Blue Ivy's tour. She's very much so like the topic of conversation in regards to like just the level of execution that she's put forward in her dance routines this time around. Just to see like this, what is she now, 13? Like she's still a very young girl who's getting in front of large crowds and has a presence, and even more so, in my opinion, than the Renaissance tour. Obviously, little Rumi got herself a little jelly. Was like, I want to be like big sis, okay, and get on the stage too. So we've been seeing clips of all of Rumi's excitement, which is super cute, until she got bored, which is what the internet is saying now, is like, okay, mom, it's night 4. Like, I'm over it. Like, I'm no longer excited. Hey, people in the crowd, whatever. Part of me is like, is that the true spin on this story? Or did she get some feedback that like, hey girl, we still got to do the show. So can you just like stand here calmly in the future? I don't know. But again, that's a young child also.
It's a young child. Also, there have been, words about there may be some delays here. But, I mean, we don't know. We don't know anything about these children. But, I mean, shoot. I wouldn't, first off, it's a lot to ask of a child to be on stage every night, especially doing the same thing over and over again. I did see the scenes of her practicing, and then she just like, okay, let's do it.
Part of me doesn't feel like she asked, or that Beyonce was like, hey, Rumi, I want you to be a part. Like, I feel like Rumi was like, I want to do this ish. Like, my sister's up here. Y'all are having a great time. Y'all are talking. She's spending a lot of time with you, mommy. Like, y'all are rehearsing. Y'all are going off over here and doing stuff. And I want some more time. So give me that. And so I think, with Protector, it makes sense that that's like, sure, you can come out for this song that I have and we can do that, but behave. So
calm your ass down.
Yeah.
I saw that look Tina gave, like, girl, can she calm down a little bit? But shout out to freaking Blue though. So Blue is coming hard and heavy this time around. She saw all the comments because I actually saw the movie, and Matthew talked about how Blue was like inspired by the fact that people were talking about her and her stiffness during the Renaissance tour. So she's coming in and she's going hard. She's having her own solo dances, and she's in more scenes. And honestly, she's just probably like a main dancer at this point. I'm impressed. She's moving better than I was at that age.
She's moving better than I am at this age. Okay, me and
girl. Anyway, so look at the time, producer.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's move on. Are you ready?
She's funny as hell. Okay, long story short, I really like the outfits. Everybody's coming with the looks. This girl I follow online, she actually paid a hell of a lot of money for her tickets. And honestly, she's setting the stage for people. You're getting your money's worth. There's a place where you can get all this food, unlimited drink. And I'm like, damn. And it's like Southern themed. And I'm just like, wow. I mean, if I had the money, I would go. But I don't really like country music that much, so I won't. So, yeah. You ain't getting my rent money, okay? Mm-hmm. All right, let's move on. Next subject.
Okay, well, wanted to just kind of mention things that I'm hearing about Terrence Howard. I don't really know what to... I'm like, I'm not obsessed with him as an actor, like he's not like somebody that I'm like, oh my gosh, the best. So actor Terrence Howard recently disclosed that he declined the lead role in a Marvin Gaye biopic due to his discomfort with portraying a same-sex intimacy scene. Basically, he was in an interview with Bill Maher. Is that how you say his name? Bill Maher? Club Random podcast, and Terrence Howard was just explaining that he had a conversation with the music producer Quincy Jones, who allegedly confirmed rumors about Gay's sexuality. And that is what led Terrence Howard to feel uncomfortable or unable to perform that scene. He said that if I kissed some man, I would cut my lips off. Really emphasizing that his decision was about personal boundaries rather than homophobia, which is a lie. It's a homophobic statement. Howard also expressed regret over turning down a separate opportunity to portray Smokey Robinson, which he initially declined due to his commitment for the Marvin Gaye project. He basically... So that's kind of how the conversation started, you know? And I guess I'm just thinking to myself that, like, he also made statements. I forgot exactly the wording of the statements, but he was just like, I can't play, you know, that part. Like when I do these types of roles, it has to feel, you know, authentic because I can't fake it. And everybody is like, sir, do you understand? Like, you're an actor and like that literally is your job. Like you're being somebody else that is not authentic to you. So you're faking everything. Like you're not living your real life when you're acting, right? Like, and then people are looking at like, oh, well, let's look at the roles that he felt like he could be authentic in. He has no problem beating on women, cussing them out, being like he ain't got no issues with some of those roles. And does that mean that feels more authentic to him and who he is? Because he don't gotta act too hard, you know? I can just be it, you know?
Beat himself.
So, yeah, I just think it's a very obviously toxic take, very much so showing his age and, you know, just like that this is being ageist a little bit, but certain generations are not as progressive in certain spaces. And he's just really kind of like showcasing that he's not that progressive and he doesn't see people equally. And to me, when people say these kinds of comments, I wish that they have children that they don't understand their lived experience. Like, I actually want that for you. I want you to have a child so that you now have to understand a different lived experience, because apparently people only learn or have sympathy or empathy for other people's lived experiences when they impact their lives. And so I'm like, yeah, go ahead. I wish a gay child upon you, Terrence Howard, so that you can actually understand the weight that the words that you are using carry. Because they will affect your loved one, as long as you're a decent human being and actually care for your loved ones, because as we all know, that's not a guarantee in life. So, yeah, thoughts, reactions.
I mean, that was a read. I mean, I could see that's why he played Lucius Lyon, honestly. So, like, he definitely a homophobic dad on that one.
Put him in that garbage can.
Yeah. And, you know, on the opposite side of that argument, people were like, well, why does it have to be homophobic when at the end of the day, Black people, they feel like there's this conspiracy about Black men being put in effeminate roles all the time, being put in their place in Hollywood. And there's, you know, talks about that, like, you know, why do I have to wear a dress to be considered funny? Why do I have to do this? Why do I have to do that? And then he's stating, like, I've made enemies or I'm not higher places because I've stood my ground on my beliefs. And it's just like, yeah, you're entitled to do that. But I do feel like, I don't know. I feel like that was a really random take to say about Marvin Gaye. Because, okay, honestly, maybe just my age too, but I didn't know the man was gay. I didn't know.
I heard Luther Vandross allegedly.
Yeah, it was a rumor that he was gay. So, yeah. What's so funny about that he said that is the script hasn't even been written yet. So for him to even say that,
well, he just assumed.
Because even a person giving an interview was just like, yeah, it's not, the script isn't written yet. So, like, there was no point in saying that. Like, that might even not be in the movie, but maybe he thinks that that's going to be in the movie, but you really don't know. So to say that, and it's not even in the script, and again, not a lot of people know that.
That's
So
why
he's putting 20 on 10 regarding him playing this role. So
just saying.
anyway, I just feel like it was an excuse for him to be like, honestly, an excuse for him to be a little homophobic in that way. Here's the thing. I don't think there's anything wrong with you having your stance on your beliefs, but I just, he's had multiple conversations and multiple interviews,
That's why
these
the
days. And I wonder
language-
what's changing. I wonder what's changing. I wonder what's occurring in his life to feel, comfortable to come out and talk about these things.
The president
openly.
of the United States, the nature and climate of the environment in which we live and operate in that is empowering all of these incels to come through with their exclusionary commentary. Like, yeah, he feels very safe because ain't nobody who has said these things, that at least are white men, get in trouble. So so it could be the environment that people are starting to feel more comfortable with saying these things. But to me, I'm just like, it's not necessary. Feel the way you feel, and you don't have to you just don't have to say. I would love it, actually, if you were who you are, out and proud and out loud, so I know how to interact with you, or like if I'm safe around you. Like, absolutely, we do need people to acknowledge who they are, like all these Trump voters who are hiding, and I'm just like, claim it, be
and they
it.
hiding you notice they hiding these days.
They're definitely hiding.
They're getting affected. It's so funny. Like, y'all are out and about, Latinos for Trump, all these other things, and now where y'all at? Where they at though? But going back to it, I don't think it was necessary to do all that. I think you can hold your stance on being a masculine male without actually bashing another group of people.
I also just feel like, again, if you don't want to do part of your job, obviously you can take certain roles that you feel comfortable, like that's fine. I don't like a blanket statement, like I'm just never gonna kiss a man on screen, why?
I mean, some women stand on the fact that I don't want to be nude on camera. Some women, like, I don't want to perform sex scenes.
I think that's different. I think that's different.
I mean, it's kissing a guy. It's like, okay, in his head, like, yeah, it's being gay, and then for a woman performing a sex scene, I don't want to do that. So, okay.
I feel, there has to be, I think some sets are better. I don't know if every set has had it where it's like closed during the sex scenes, but there have been sex scenes where it's like the director, like just the necessary people are there on set. And like, that hasn't always been the case. So some people are like, oh yeah, do the sex scene. And like, you're just in front of a bunch of people, not necessarily naked. They do a lot of pasties usually. And like, I'm not an actor, but like, I do think that is a different, I would put it in a different barrier than like a on-screen kiss. I would put it in a different, they might be next to each other, but I think that they're a little different. But yeah, anyway, so speaking of people.
Go
ahead.
So Erica, have you seen Hustle and Flow yet?
I did, in the pandemic.
Oh, okay, I was going to say.
I finally understood where that viral song came from. Like, I knew it came from the movie, but I actually saw it. So I was like, oh, okay, great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. I was about to say, if you haven't watched it, I was like, dang, we couldn't watch it now.
I had a good time. I had a good time because I was like, oh, yeah, wow, look at me, I'm a part of the culture.
Would you watch it? If you didn't watch it then, would you watch it now after that?
No. I would not be more intrigued to watch the movie now. No.
But you say you had a good time with it, right?
I did, mostly because I'm like, wow, look at all of the cultural references that like came from this movie that I didn't have a context for. So I appreciated it. Yes.
Terrence also talked about a particular incident. He's talking about Hollywood, and he was again, these stories are so random. He was talking about the fact that our next subject, his time with Diddy, and how he felt like Diddy was trying to hop on them bones as well. Now, Diddy's having his day finally. Go ahead and bring us in. What's going on with our boy? Well, not my boy, but, a bad boy.
Yeah. So jury selection for the Combs federal trial is getting underway, kind of. It's actually been delayed for this week. It's going to take place next week. It was originally scheduled for this week. But potentially they're doing it to prevent any juror dropouts over the weekend. I don't know. I don't understand, but that's just what I'm reading. Anyway, for people who need a little bit of context, okay, Diddy has multiple federal charges, including racketeering, sex trafficking, and prostitution-related crimes. And he has pleaded not guilty and remains in custody in the Brooklyn Metropolitan, that's a word, Detention Center. So the jury will be finalized from a pool of 45 potential jurors, narrowed down from approximately 100 candidates. Potential jurors have been questioned about their exposure to news coverage, including a leaked video showing Combs physically assaulting, was it leaked? His former girlfriend, Cassie Ventura. And so basically they're just trying to understand how people's biases or personal trauma could relate to their influence in the case. So we are at jury selection, which that's exactly why I was like, who is about to be a part of this who has not been informed in any way? It's giving very much OJ. Like, people know what's going on. Like, this is a very huge case. So I'm very interested in how they're going to pick these jurors. Like, are they all going to be 80? But honestly, I feel like no. Like, that was hot. He was hot in the 80s and 90s, and those folks know who Diddy is. Like, people know. So
I don't know who they're going to get. They're going to have to get somebody off the street, okay? Like, a random person who's just like, who is this guy? You're going to, like, more than likely, they're not going to be his peers. Because, like, when you meet a 50 or younger person that's like in, part of hip hop culture, you're going to know who Diddy is, and you're going to be biased because everyone has polarizing thoughts about him. They think he's the devil or one of the best things to happen in hip hop.
Yep.
So it's going to be interesting. Shoot. I'll be on the jury. I just want to see. I really, honestly, I don't have I just know I won't fuck him. That's the only opinion I have about him. And the fact that, like,
they gonna get you on a jury for that.
That's like, I wouldn't fuck him. That's like, nope, next. Like, but why would I just said I wouldn't? But I also knew growing up, like, if I were to become a singer, songwriter, or just anything like that in entertainment, I just wouldn't sign with Bad Boy. I just can tell she just never works out with them. And he just seems like a very aggressive dude when it comes down to business. I ain't got time for that. But I don't know. Good luck to that man, because
Should look like they probably gonna delay that trial again because they're having issues with keeping in contact with the 3 key witnesses. So
somebody got paid off.
Or somebody got knocked off.
Stop.
Allegedly.
Not allegedly. Allegedly, yes.
Allegedly. Look.
Good luck to everybody.
Well,
okay, except for Diddy.
Yeah. Is he on house arrest or he's like in jail?
In jail.
He's in jail.
Okay.
They not letting him out. They
did not
him
running.
Too
he
many
gonna
times.
hop on that PJ to the
Gonna be right there.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
With what's his face? Russell Simmons, allegedly.
He gonna be in Bali. They gonna be fighting for their lives. Woof. Hip hop. Okay. The love-hate relationship I have with hip hop. It's interesting.
Well, see, I don't like that. Right. I don't like that statement because that has nothing to do with hip hop. That's just an individual.
No, it actually does, because my thing is he is a pioneer of 90s hip hop that actually allowed, he was a part of the flashy people, he introduced like, New Jack Swing to everybody. Pretty much he kind of helped pivot the way hip hop looks, and also you got the video girls and all that other stuff, and like just there's people always wanted to go to a Diddy white party. His parties are well known. People always wanted to go to them. And what happened at these parties, allegedly, nobody knows.
We gonna
nobody
find out.
was there. Everybody left before it got crazy. But all this is coming out.
Right. But what does that have to do with the genre hip hop, though?
The genre of hip hop? Because his influence on hip hop affects how other people go in and come in and do hip hop. Hip hop is a very wide genre in itself.
His activities outside of that has nothing to do with music. That's outside of music, though.
How is it outside of music when these are the people that you're inviting into your space?
That's the people. That's the individual. That has nothing to do with the genre.
Who are associated with hip hop.
You can be associated with anybody.
That you consume it.
You can be associated with anybody. That just has something to do with the individual. It has nothing to do with the genre itself or music.
I just feel like people's presence in a particular genre can also influence and shape the future of it. So I think his personal activities spill into his music and also spill into lifestyles of other people, which make him think that it's okay to
that stuff
treat
was
people
happening
like this.
before. That stuff was happening before Diddy, though, and that kind of stuff happens outside of music as well, too.
I think that stuff comes with power and privilege in any arena. If someone has power and privilege, they're going to be influential in the future of whatever, right? Like in almost every arena, right?
Yeah.
So, but are we not going to say that like hip hop does have certain lanes where they are objectifying and mistreating women? Like
that's like that in anything, though. Rock and roll, they do that too.
But in the workplace, we are objectified, mistreated. In the military, we're everywhere. Yeah, because again, that is a deeper structure that is ingrained in how we as a society, not industry, a society operate. Yeah, the patriarchy, all the things, which is why we have to dismantle it so it doesn't show up in other spaces because it exists holistically. We got to do a lot of unlearning and dismantling, and because it's a beast.
All right.
Okay, it's in everything.
Okay, I said what I said. I just stated that, his presence is he is one of the biggest pioneers in hip hop, and his influence on the lifestyle of rappers today is based off of him. And there are people who have like been unfortunately undertaken by this lifestyle, and I think it has something to do with it.
I think
now, of course, at the end of the day, exploitation, sex crimes and things like that are, they're universal. They can happen anywhere. But it would be kind of crazy to say that like he ain't got nothing to do with this. It's not had nothing to do with hip hop. Like,
yeah, it
literally
doesn't.
People
That's been going on before he
there's
came.
like a whole thing, like people literally like all their music is just like, she's a bitch, she's a hoe, she gonna come to this door, like we gonna have these sex parties, we're gonna do all this stuff, like I don't know, I just feel like
people were saying that before.
If it wasn't gonna be him, it was gonna be another person, but at this point he's one of the people we can point to and say like, yeah, he's a part of the reason why we're in this. It is bigger than Diddy and hip hop, but at the end of the day, we can't say he's not on the Mount Rushmore of like, why hip hop is a little off. That's my thoughts and opinions on that.
Sorry, it's not like the only, I would love to get into that. I was like, the only thing that I was just going to comment on is like, technically we all uphold these structures. We do uphold them because we buy into them. Deny that Diddy doesn't have anything to do with it? I'm just saying, I'm not saying he's like the owner. That's what I'm saying. It's like, he's not responsible.
He's not the owner.
Like, he is definitely perpetuating what society, how it already operates. Yes, he is very much so aligned to it and buys into and profits from how society regards sex, drugs, women, all topics. Yes, correct. He is perpetuating those. And we all are, because we buy into those things. Yes, we can download it, we stream it, we listen, and we pay attention, and we support, and we go to concerts, and our dollars are saying that we like what you're doing. So keep it up. So unless we do something different about that, right? We all have an individual level of contribution, right? His is in his level of contribution and upholding it. And we uphold things in various ways, which is why I constantly say, which I'm working on, we got to be conscious about how I can work. I got to make sure that I feel good about the things that I'm supporting. Everybody has to feel good about the things that they are supporting. And that's why Diddy, his music, he has to feel good about the messages that he's putting out there. But he's not the creator of putting out those types of messages. A lot of people have been putting out those kinds of messages. It's been ingrained in how we exist as a people all across the globe. So that's the only thing where I'm like,
I never said that he was like the creator of the reason what's wrong with hip hop. I just think he has a big part of how hip hop is being, like, how a lot of hip hop is shaped today. And also like that big flashy lifestyle.
Yeah, that's because we laugh at Will Smith, because Will Smith is creating rap that doesn't have curse words in it. It's very wholesome. And we laugh at him and we don't support his music. But he's not talking about slapping hoes and he's not doing all this other stuff. But we don't buy into that. So therefore, yeah, correct. Diddy will continue to have influence. People will recognize him and say that you influenced me, you inspired me. Absolutely, because that's what we are supporting and emphasizing. If we supported something else, we'd have a different outcome. But people don't want to do different things. They like to be very comfortable. They like to like what they like. And that's what it is. So if we want something different, we got to do something different.
Very true. We got to drink other things other than, Rock, what's that? De Leon, Casamigos, all that other stuff. Like, it's just like, it goes so deep. And I actually would like to talk about it on a different day and actually probably on a different platform. But like, it's just interesting to see, like, how literally you have people in the early days saying hip hop this is not going in the right direction. And people are like, girl, stop being a hater, or y'all stop being a hater. And then you look and you're just like, oh yeah, this is fun. But also we can't deny that, okay.
But they've been saying that about hip hop since it started, though. So that's not saying anything. Like, they've been saying hip hop is going in the wrong direction for a long time. They even said it when I was a kid. So what direction hip hop is going, nobody knows. It's going to a direction, but it's still going to the direction of people profiting in it. Profiting in it.
Profiting? Just profiting.
Yes, profiting, yes.
Yeah.
But I forgot about yeah, so
it's okay.
To your point, yeah, hip hop, that is just not a hip hop thing. So everybody has done that in every industry, like Erica said. Outside of music, in the work industry, like Diddy ain't the one that pioneered that. Hip hop has been flashy before Diddy
is a pioneer.
Yes, he is a pioneer.
He is a pioneer. He's on the Mount Rushmore of hip hop influences.
Right, for hip hop influence, but the stuff he did outside of that it shouldn't be in the same category as hip hop, because that's done anywhere.
So we'll just contribute it to the lifestyle.
Yeah,
we'll just contribute it to people in power and privilege who don't get checked because the president of the United States is acting up. He's doing things. He's raped people. He's federal charges. And like, so in every space, like every space. Well, that's why we can't do nothing. Can't do nothing. Can't go nowhere. Can't have nothing. Okay. Unless we gon' just deny how life actually is structured. I don't know. We got to dismantle it. That's why I'm very much so in favor. I'm very much so like, let's tear it down and start anew. But yeah.
Power is so interesting to me. And the fact that like how you display power, how you exert it, And, it's just interesting because now you got people who found themselves in a situation with this guy because, he had a lot of power. So we'll see how this goes. Like I said, you going under the jail because everything that girl said you did, I believe. That's just me though.
I'll have to put this in the extra thoughts because I don't have this ready for now, but there's obviously tons of experiments on how power and privilege play with people. Most recently, they've done experiments on people playing Monopoly. And like, there's like a certain group of people who are given like money at the start or something. Like they get to get their $200 every time that they pass go versus like another group who didn't get anything when they started and they have to pass every 2 times. I think they only get 100. I don't know all the facts of this thing, but it was very much so talking about like, what does that do for them? And like, you were seeing the people who had like the privilege, like clank their piece across the board, be very loud about it. Like they were eating more snacks, felt more comfortable. They were very like just behaviorally, they were noticing the differences of people. And then when they asked why they did so well in the game, not a single one of them could acknowledge or reference the fact that, oh, well, at the very beginning, I got all this money and every time that I pass go, I get $200 and they don't. Not a single one of the people in privilege acknowledged their privilege. But their behaviors were very different. Why not acknowledge your privilege? Why is it so hard? I can acknowledge.
I think it's hard.
Like, yeah, I grew up around white hoes. It's very much so a privilege to have gone to my school, to have had it been resourced, to have had the parents that I had, to have been in like absolutely, to have an able body, to have a full mind, to be pretty. Like there are things that I will tell y'all what is working well for me and how I feel blessed. It is not hard for me to acknowledge that I get certain things because of privilege and no other reason. Because if I lived with my mom and grew up with my mom, I might have a whole different life. And I acknowledge that. It's not hard for me to acknowledge my privilege. I just want to know why people find it so difficult to acknowledge that from nothing you literally did, but because of where and how and who you were born from, whatever, that you have privilege. It just blows my mind that you can't just own up to the fact that like you're actually not that special, but you were born into very conducive situations. Like, why is that hard?
It's hard because it requires obviously like, self-realization and actually like just self-awareness. And self-awareness is something that some people just don't have right away.
I don't even think it's self-awareness. I don't. I think that it's so ingrained in certain groups of people that you are inherently better. You are inherently better. And it's not a privilege. It's just kind of like, I think people just think that like, I'm better than you. It's not privilege. Like you should have done different things. Like you're a slacker. You're this, you're that. It has nothing to do with me and the opportunity I got or the trust that I was born into. Like I guess I struggle because some people are just like, well, it's hard. Like I don't know, like even the simple fact of like, do you have to think about if you're going to get a job because of your skin color or your gender? Like, do you think about that? Is that a consideration you have to take into, do you have to think about it? Or do you leave a job interview and you think as a white man, like there's that those are not things that people consider? That is a privilege. I know that people are talking about race and gender when it comes to hiring, promotion decisions. So in itself, it's okay. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Anyway, so our next segment is called Am I Just Being Extra? All right. This is our advice segment. Okay, so feel free, send us an email about a scenario that you're going through that you would like for me and Jackie and Hassan to comment on. We have an email at justextrapodcast@gmail.com, and we'll potentially read your question aloud on the podcast. Today, here's our topic. So, my neighbors yell at their kids all day. like sun up to bedtime. It's not just the occasional go clean your room. It's yelling, cursing, door slamming levels. I don't know if it's just how they parent, but it makes me tense in my own home. Am I just being extra if I say something, or should I stay out of it?
I mean, this is not hard. You probably should just do a quick wellness check. You probably should just drop a little dime. Now here's the thing: it gets a little shaky if you're the only person next to these people. They know it came from you, so yikes. But if you do care about the children, and we care about the kids, yeah, I mean, you should definitely say something to the authorities. That's just my opinion. You may not have to do it yourself, but you gotta check them kids out.
Yeah, this is where community comes into play. This is why community is important, right? Like, I think that we should get into the habit of having real care and concern for people. I think, I don't know, I just think about it. If I was like a child and needed help, like I would want somebody to not mind their business and help me. Like, you hear me yelling and screaming and crying, like, yeah, I definitely think that you should do something. I hate bringing in the police though. That's where I don't like it. Like, I'm like, are they, how drastic do you think it is? Right? Like, do you think it is just like a parenting and they probably are doing the most, or do you actually think it is like an abusive situation? Because if you full on think that a child called It is living by you, then you for sure should call the police. If it is just like a noise thing and you think they are some bad A kids and their parents are trying to like just get a handle on them, I mean, it's always nice to meet your neighbors, like go by, say hi, and acknowledge that you like live there and offer support, or at least just, like say you are here, and then maybe stop by again on a second situation and try and maybe see if you can build a relationship with them, see if you can, I don't know, talk to them. Also, if that's not your jam, I don't know, are you in an apartment complex? Because you could potentially tell your management team that like you have noise complaints or something. I don't know. But I definitely think that like it shouldn't just stay in your mind. If you have actual concerns, you should actually do something. I'm like always talking about Metra. Their slogan is see something, say something. So if you see something, you should say something. If you see something wrong, you should probably say something. You should probably do something about it. As long as you feel safe for your own self to do that. I'm not telling you to put your own self in literal harm. So, if you feel safe, approach them. If you don't, maybe call your office, or if you need to, call the police.
Yeah, I mean, they do have Department of Family Services that can do a quick wellness check. We don't have to go to the authorities just yet. You could just do, a quick wellness check. Like, there's just a concern. Someone can come evaluate. Granted, will it work all the time? You don't know. And then also, once we open that door, there's a possibility of like, okay, these kids may be taken away. It may be a misunderstanding, but you just never know. But my thing is, like, I'm with you. Like, I'm not trying to hear someone get beat next door to me. I want to relax. Okay. I pay rent too. Okay. So what do we need? Like, do we need to turn on Miss Rachel? Like, why are we so stimulated at the very least? But also, why are you beating these kids? So
sometimes people have a thing about like gentle parenting and things like that, but that's also a part of like why I don't have children, because I know that I still have work to do on myself and like my level of patience and like, how I can show up when I am a whole human being and having my own lived experience. Like, I know that I would probably need more tools to be able to show up in a space that requires the best of me. And I think more people need to take that into consideration if you're thinking about reproducing. Like, is your temperament in check?
Anybody thinking about that, they just want to bust a nut. So,
well, you should probably think about, if you're going to keep the baby, what that actually looks like. Do you have the skill set to be the best parent to that child? Do you have the ability to just like take things step by step? What if the child, I don't even know. I'm like, is the child neurodivergent and you just don't know how to like deal with this child? And like, you don't have the tools. Like, I'm just trying to understand, like, why is this child screaming? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is it? Like, so that's why I'm like, you want to check in and have the conversation and see how they're doing and blah, blah, blah. But like, just, I would like to say to all parents, like, make sure that you have done the work on yourself if you're going to try and parent other people, because that's how trauma really gets started. Okay.
Come on now.
Yes. So thank you. We hope you helped. We helped you. And yeah, if you would like help, I already said it. Send us an email at justextrapodcast@gmail.com so that we can answer your scenario. You can follow us on social media. Our podcast page is justextra_podcast on Instagram and TikTok. We all have Instagrams. You can follow Jackie at allthingsJ, Jay spelled out. You can follow me, Erica_stay ready, and Hassan at Mr.Forbes. Is spelled out DOT. And we will catch.
You good over there?
We'll catch you next time.
We sure will. Bye.
We're just being extra.